But let me think now. How should I conclude all these three things that I said? Like thinking back down on triggers, on boundaries, on verbalizing things. They are so all so deeply connected, and yet they are still like separate. And
But
yeah.
what do you do actually with them? Like the triggers is still in the retrospect, so you're still looking in.
Mhm.
Boundaries is what you set outside.
And not only boundaries, that's what's the point I was trying to make. So boundaries is not just something that we set outside, like just saying words or rationally deciding this doesn't suit to me, so I don't do that. There's also a way of setting energetic boundaries, and really boundaries that matches your feelings. You can rationally say I do this or I don't do that. You can just make decisions, but the boundary will not be constructive. A boundary will not serve to you if that's not matching with your, let's say, gut. That's sometimes you really feel okay till here and not further, and you can't explain that. And these are one of the most important boundaries to watch at. So they are internal, they are not external. The way to learn them, I mentioned, all these verbalizations, but it's just one technique that I just wanted to laugh together and to share.
With
The way to learn, sorry.
what with affirmations?
Um, I could say so. I could say so. Finding the right words, the right descriptions, the right affirmations. Yes, but very applicable to specific situations that people are struggling at. But then the second one, like finding really what matches your gut feeling when it comes to the boundaries, the internal boundaries. That is done through certain mindfulness techniques, through certain techniques that touch the subconscious mind. They're very intuitive, counterintuitive, and they're more towards feeling like without even being able to explain why or what, because the subconscious part is very expressive for the body, and body using as a tool to feel it, to internalize it, is very powerful to really discover and feel, okay, my boundary is here. Here I feel comfortable, and this is pulling me out of my center. And yeah, we could also go into a long discussion about a comfort zone, but that's a little bit something else, so I'll just leave that discussion out of that. So yeah, so concluding, there's a lot to learn, and one doesn't necessarily have to have burnout to start this work. Once one has a burnout, it will take a long time to recover, to learn all of that. So my goal, my point would be to encourage people to seek for self-development, for prevention, to improve the quality of their life, to seek actually more happiness. If all areas of your life, your family, your career, your financial situation, your health, everything works great, you don't need me. Seriously. But if you think, okay, this is a repeating thing that's bothering me, this is a repeating problem that's nagging me, this is something that I'm not happy about, this is something that makes me tired, or I don't know what it is, but I don't feel great, that's really time like to see what's besides that, what's behind it, and to tackle that. Life can be so much better, it can be greater than it is right now, right?
I'm still thinking because I do see that's how my brain works. I look for patterns.
Mm-hmm.
And when we talked about triggers was more the part of looking in. So you reflect on what actually makes you behave in that certain way.
Mm-hmm.
So once you know what's in your brain, what's happening, what processes make this happen, then your next step would be to come up with a way to, well, kind of not fall into the trap of your brain.
Yeah.
And that you would do by making sure that you're staying within the area where you feel good, your
Mm,
happy zone. Because your happy zone
interesting.
would be within the boundaries.
Your happy zone is more within the boundaries. The triggers is more learning to observe yourself from the side, learning to observe your reactions from the side, your feelings, your physical, emotional feelings. So observing and seeing this is the pattern exactly, and how could I turn this pattern around? Because the magic of the triggers is, let's take an example. Let's say you have a colleague that's bothering you, coming every time with some critics, or this should be done this way, or like to express it, and that triggers you and you react in a certain way, and you can't change the other person. But when you will change the pattern inside yourself, it's actually very energetic. Not even already the words you will say will not matter that much when you will change the feeling around it, the way you are, the way it touches you, what the other does. The magic of managing your trigger will turn around, resulting in the change in the situation, in the change in the other. So we do not really want, with learning our triggers, to purposely manipulate the environment, but we want to improve the state in our hearts, the state in our being, and that state will resonate with others on the higher level. So the people who are triggering you, they will be they will fall outside of who you will become after managing your triggers. Do you understand what I mean?
While you were talking, I was actually thinking about something that I had this morning with my housemate. So they love asking the question, "Where are you going?" And it triggers something in me, because I'm like, I literally said I'm a free agent. I can go wherever I want. I don't need to explain it to anybody. Okay. And that was indeed a trigger for me. And I know it's partly because of my idea that part of my identity is I'm an independent person. And I like, wow, this is something so funny for me to say, but like, it was still some leftover idea that because I'm an Aquarius, and Aquarius people love freedom, they don't want to be how you say, I'm literally thinking of bounding them down. Like, I don't want to be tied up by others, and like the idea of control. Basically, don't want anyone to try to control me. So if that's the trigger, I will respond to a simple question, "Where are you going?" that might not have had any bad intention or whatsoever, but that triggers me.
Exactly.
Right?
And what's your question around that?
If you think about the boundaries part, like, would you say that it's about the boundaries? Because now actually we're going towards another solution, that the boundaries is what you say for yourself, like, okay, when do I react and when do I not react? That could be a boundary. But why do I react happens in the trigger, and because you know your why already, you're gonna change the state. So is the state the goal, or is the boundary the goal?
In this situation, since it's not like violating you extremely, it's really seems like it is something internally for you to deal with. There's also something external you could do about that. It is not exactly drawing the boundary, it would be more verbalization. It's just my idea, you can take it or leave it. Once you're asked the next time where you're going, and if you're it dropped out, let me check.
No,
are you still
I just
here?
turned off my
So let me see. So
okay.
So I think it is something more internal to deal with, but it doesn't mean that you're not allowed to say anything. So let's say this situation arises again, and from a triggered place, you would answer like, "Why are you bothering about that? I can go wherever I want. I'm a free person." That's what stays like behind the speaking out, right? But from the untriggered you, the answer could be, "Oh, sweetheart, thank you so much. caring about where I'm going. I'm fine. I just want some time for myself, some freedom, and you don't always have to worry about where I'm going. If I will want to share, I will share. The second way, the triggered way again would be like, I'm not a small kid in this house, I'm a grown woman and stuff like that. And untriggered way inside yourself or outside yourself to reply would be, what could be the way number two is, you're always asking where I'm going. It's unusual for me. Is that the reason why you're asking that every time? How do you like the answers?
Yes. What was that? Just like which one is the one that you want to be in. So that's the state that you want to stay in. And based on that state, then you can indeed verbalize it.
Indeed.
Create
Exactly.
the state that you want, the relationship that you want with that person.
Yeah. And then the question back to you would be, so when you're triggered and we spoke out those words like, yeah, I'm a grown person, do you see how different the energy of those words is than we are saying, oh, sweetheart, thank you for caring about me? And why I actually asking this question all the time? I'm just so curious. Do you see like the same thing from what kind of a different emotional place and different energetic place it's actually being asked, and then the whole situation gets into a different level?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Great.
So
Thanks for the question. I like that.